Okay, so are you ready to dive into this whole Grok 3 thing?
Oh yeah, I've been glued to the news and all the chatter online. It's wild.
Yeah, Elon Musk and his XAI company really know how to make a splash, don't they? Some are saying it's a total game changer.
Yeah, total AI revolution. Some are saying, maybe not so much.
Exactly. So we've got this pile of articles and announcements, some super hyped up, some a bit more cautious. Let's try to make sense of it all. What do we actually know about this Grok 3?
Well, we can start with what XAI themselves are saying.
Okay, so right out of the gate, they're claiming 10 times the computing power of anything they've built before, and they've got this supercluster they're calling Colossus to train it on.
Yeah, Colossus. Gotta love the dramatic names.
Right, grabs your attention. But okay, more computing power? Sure, we've been seeing that trend. Bigger models, better results. But XAI is claiming that Grok 3 is different, that it can actually reason.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting. They're saying it's not just about spitting out answers, it's about showing its work, exploring options, even correcting itself like a human would as it goes along.
They even have this think button so you can see its process step by step. Imagine being able to peek inside the AI's brain as it figures things out.
That kind of transparency could be a game changer, especially as we see AI being used for more and more in our lives. Could really help build trust.
Definitely. Okay, but all of that is still kind of theoretical until we see it in action, right? Well, SAI has put Grok 3 to the test in a very real-world way. They had it take the 2025 American Invitational Mathematics Examination, the AIM.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not an easy exam. It's for, like, top math students.
Exactly. And get this, Grok 3 scored a 93.3%, and this was just a week after the exam was released.
If that's legit, that's amazing. The aim isn't just about crunching numbers. It's problem solving, logic, even a bit of creativity.
Totally. And there's more. They've also got this Grok 3 Mini, which is supposed to be more efficient but still super good at STEM stuff. That one got 95.8% on the 2024 AIME.
Huh. So they're thinking about different models for different needs. Makes sense. Not everyone needs the full Colossus treatment.
Right. Okay, but hold on, because this is where things get even wilder. XAI is saying that Grok 3 is top of the line even without all the fancy reasoning stuff turned on.
So they're basically saying it's the best at both raw performance and this deeper reasoning thing.
Yeah, exactly. And they've released all these benchmarks claiming Grok 3 beats the competition on scientific knowledge, general knowledge, math problems, and image and video understanding.
Benchmarks are helpful, but we got to remember they don't always translate perfectly to how something performs in the real world.
Totally agree. Oh, and I almost forgot, Grok 3 has a gigantic context window, 1 million tokens. That's 8 times larger than what we've seen before.
Yeah, imagine like being able to keep way more information in mind at once. That's huge for understanding complicated stuff.
Right, like reading a whole book and remembering every detail. Okay, so it seems like XAI isn't just aiming to build a better chatbot. They want Grok 3 to be able to interact with the world.
That's a huge step. We're not just talking about responding to prompts in a box anymore. This is AI that can actually go out and find information, process it.
And that's where this deep search thing comes in. Imagine you could ask Grok 3 something like, what if I bought Tesla stock back in 2011?
Or how are people on, what is it now, X, reacting to the Grok 3 launch?
Exactly. And deep search would go out, do all this research online, even synthesize conflicting opinions, and give you back a clear report.
Like giving Grok 3 its own research department. Wow.
Right. It sounds almost too good to be true, right? Well, that's where our second source comes in. This article with the title Grok 3 is Elon Musk's AI set to surpass GPT-4. A bit more cautious.
Heavy dose of skepticism never hurts. We've seen plenty of hype in this field.
Totally. So the article points out that none of XAI's claims have been independently verified yet. And it raises some really important questions, like, can Grok 3 really outperform GPT-4 when it comes to understanding and generating text?
And is deep search actually any better than, just using Google search?
Exactly. It's still early days, right? Grok 3 is just in beta. But luckily, they're offering a free trial.
Oh, interesting. So people can actually get in there and test it out for themselves. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of opinions coming out soon.
Yeah, the real-world test is about to begin, so we've got this mix of excitement and caution, groundbreaking claims, impressive benchmarks, but also a lot of unknowns. It's a lot to process.
Definitely. And that's what we're here for, right? To source through it all and figure out what's really going on.
Exactly. We've laid out the landscape, but now let's get into some of the potential risks and ethical concerns that Grok 3 is raising.
Because with any technology this powerful, we got to look at both sides of the coin.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all the shiny new features and forget about the potential downsides.
Definitely. And one of the things that always comes up with AI is bias.
Right, right. I mean, Grok 3 is learning from data, and all data comes from somewhere, right?
Exactly. So if it's trained on data that reflects the existing biases in the world, well, it could just end up perpetuating those biases and its output.
And that's a big deal if we're talking about things like I don't know, evaluating job applicants or assessing loan applications.
Or even in the criminal justice system. These are high-stakes situations where we need to be absolutely sure that these AI systems are being fair.
And then there's the whole issue of misinformation. We've seen what can happen with deep fakes and things like that.
Oh, yeah. If Grok 3 is really as good at generating human-quality text as they're claiming, could it be used to create even more sophisticated fake news?
Right. And not just fake news articles, but reports, studies, all kinds of stuff.
And then on top of that, you've got deep search, which could potentially back up that fake stuff with like real sources and data pulled from the internet. It's like, how would you even tell what's real anymore?
It's kind of scary to think about. It's like we're giving AI this incredible power, but do we really know if it's ready for that responsibility?
We definitely need some careful thought about regulation, ethical guidelines, all that. It's not just about preventing harm. It's about making sure the benefits of AI are shared fairly.
Right. I mean, what happens if Grok 3 really does change the job market in a big way? Like some people are predicting we don't want to create even more inequality.
That's a huge part of this, the future of work in the age of AI. It's not just a theoretical discussion anymore. We're already seeing the impact.
So are we ready for this, do you think?
Honestly, I think we're all still trying to figure that out. There's a lot of excitement about the potential, but also a lot of anxiety about what it all means.
It really does feel like we're on the edge of something new, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I think it's important for everyone to be a part of this conversation. What do you think, as our listener? Are you excited about AI, or are you worried about the risks?
It doesn't have to be one or the other. We can be both excited and cautious at the same time. The important thing is to be aware of the potential and the pitfalls.
I like that. So, okay, we've talked about all the cool stuff Grok 3 can do, the potential to change the world, but also some of the very real concerns. But there's something else I've been thinking about.
Okay, I'm listening. What is it?
Well, XAI keeps saying that Grok 3 is still learning, right? That it's constantly evolving. So what will it be capable of in a year, 5 years? Will it just keep getting better and better?
Yeah, and that brings up the whole question of artificial general intelligence, AGI, an AI that's as smart as a human.
A concept that used to be just science fiction, but now it feels like it could actually happen.
Right, and people like Elon Musk himself have even said that AGI could be dangerous, an existential threat to humanity even.
It's a tough one. I mean, on the one hand, AI could help us solve so many problems like climate change or disease. But on the other hand, we need to be so careful about how we control it.
Yeah, and the ethical implications are huge. How will AGI affect society, the economy, our very understanding of what it means to be human?
These are big questions, and we need to start talking about them now before it's too late.
We can't just wait and see what happens. We need to be proactive, thinking about how we want to shape the future of AI.
So, okay, we've talked about the capabilities of Grok 3, the potential impact, the risks, the philosophical questions, but I think there's one more layer to this.
Okay, go on.
Well, we've talked about Grok 3's ability to reason, to learn, to interact with the world. But what about its ability to understand?
You mean like truly understand human language, culture, emotion?
Exactly. Can an AI really grab all of that, or is it just mimicking what it's seen in the data?
That's a big question. It gets to the heart of what it means to be human.
And I don't know if we have the answer yet, but it's something to think about, isn't it, as we move forward with AI?
Maybe trying to understand AI will help us understand ourselves better.
That's a really interesting thought. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Grok 3, I want to leave you, our listener, with one final thought.
What's that?
We've talked about a lot of the technical stuff and the potential impacts, but there's also this philosophical side to it.
Right. It's about more than just ones and zeros.
Exactly. The future of AI isn't something that's already decided. It's something we're creating right now.
With every choice we make, every line of code we write, every conversation we have.
So to our listener, stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay engaged. The future of AI is in our hands.
That's a great way to put it. It's been a fascinating conversation.
It really has. And remember, this is just the beginning. AI is changing rapidly, so we need to stay curious and keep learning together. Until next time, it does feel like we're at this really pivotal moment.
Yeah, like we're moving from AI being just a tool to being more like a partner.
Or even, like you said before, a rival.
It's exciting, but kind of scary, too, to think about where this all goes.
It really is. And it brings us back to that idea of AGI, artificial general intelligence, an AI that's basically as smart as a human.
Something that could learn anything a human can.
Right, like we used to see in sci-fi movies, but now it feels like it could actually happen.
Maybe even in our lifetime.
I know, right? And even Elon Musk has said that AGI could be like a threat to humanity.
It's a tough one to think about. Because AI could help us with so many things. Climate change, curing diseases, all that.
But if it gets too smart, too powerful.
Exactly. We need to be incredibly careful about how we develop it, how we control it.
It's like we're balancing all this amazing potential with this huge risk. And we also need to make sure the benefits of AI are shared fairly.
Right. It can't just benefit a select few. We have to think about the ethical side of all this, how it affects society, jobs, everything.
It's almost too much to wrap your head around
It is, but these are the conversations we need to be having now before things move even faster.
before it's too late.
Exactly. We need to be proactive, asking the tough questions, working together to make sure AI benefits everyone.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this deep dive. We talked about what Grok 3 can do, the good and the bad.
The potential, the risks, the philosophical questions, it's been a lot.
It really has, but as you said before, this is really just the beginning.
AI is changing so fast. We all need to stay informed and keep learning.
And keep asking questions. Don't be afraid to think about the big picture.
The future of AI is something we're all shaping right now.
So to everyone listening, stay curious, stay engaged. The future is in our hands.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's been a great dig dive.
It really has. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep imagining what's possible.